So now let's talk about the draft analysis. So using this tool, you can figure out the faces where draft is added or the faces where draft is required. So I have added drafts on some of the faces of this part. Now let's analyze it. And to do that, I'll go to this Evaluate tab. And here we have the Draft Analysis tool. Now, if you don't have this Evaluate tab, right-click anywhere on these tabs and go to Tabs and select Evaluate. So this should be checked. All right, now I'll select Draft Analysis. And the first thing that we need to select here is the neutral plane. So I'll select this one as the neutral plane. And with this neutral plane and a 3-degree draft angle, this is what we are getting. So now this is actually a color-coded kind of analysis, and it will show you the faces where we have positive draft with green color, the face that requires a draft with yellow, and a negative draft with red. Now if you turn it over, you can see the negative draft here, and you can just see this angle as well. So when I'm hovering my cursor here, you can see that we have a positive draft angle of 90 degrees. Then we have here also same, and then this one has a draft angle of -1 degree. So right now the draft on these faces are going inwards. So for all the other faces, the draft angle is just going outward. So here, as you can see, it is draft angle of 3 degrees. So is this, but this one is -1, which means the angle of pull or the direction of pull is opposite. Now, if I reverse this one, you'll notice that this -1 will change to +1. So now the draft pull direction has reversed, as you can see with this arrow, but the angle is still 1 degree, which is within the limits of this 3-degree angle. So if you want to change that, again, type an angle. So here 1, and with that 1 degree angle, now this face turned green, which means now it has a positive draft. So that's how you can just analyze it. All right, so in this case, I'll just change my neutral plane. So I'll just go to this one and I'll select the neutral plane as this. All right, and then I'll add a draft angle of 3 degrees. That's what I want here in this case. All right, and with that, let's also activate this face classification. And now we can clearly see the faces where draft is required. Actually, the direction of pull is also not right. So I'll click here so that direction of pull goes upwards. All right, so with that, we can see that this face has a draft angle of 3 and all of these faces have positive drafts. Now this face requires a draft and there are 8 such faces. As you can see, it will show you the number of faces as well. So 13 faces have positive draft, 8 faces have insufficient draft angle, and then we have 14 faces with negative draft, and these are all the faces here. And we also have a face where the draft angle is positive as well as negative, and these kind of faces are called straddled faces. So this is actually the face which has a positive as well as negative draft. As you can see, this is the positive draft and this is the negative draft, and this face is kind of transitioning between the two. So half of this face has a positive draft value and half of this face has negative, and hence it is a straddled face. Now to fix this kind of issue, you can split this face from halfway, and then it will automatically have the positive draft on the top half and negative draft on the other half. Now if you want to add an angle to this direction of pull, you can do that using this adjustment triad. So select this adjustment triad, and now this will give you this triad using which you can change the angle of pull. So here I'll just move it, and when you change the angle of pull, the faces with draft will automatically change. So now as you can see, we have more straddled faces with positive as well as negative draft because of this angle. Now with this angle, some of the faces here will have positive draft and the faces on this side will have negative draft. So that's gonna happen here. Now in this case, I'll just get rid of this, and also I'll just change it back to normal. So I'll just make sure that it is back, and here we are. So this is now perfectly vertical, and with that we have once again the normal sketch. Now you can click OK if you want to see the draft analysis here, and now all the analysis color will show up here. So you can basically now add the drafts, and when you add the proper draft, these colors will change. For example, in this case, we have this face which is draft 2. Let's just change this one. So I'll go to this edit draft, and I'll change the direction of pull, which is this one, and also I'll change the draft angle from 1 to 3. And now with these changes, we'll have a positive draft here as well, and the color will also change accordingly. So that's the draft analysis tool for you.